Highway. Dre left. Oh no, the other brother did. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show. Hey, Detroit Lions, what up, though? No, man, for real, though. Man, y'all lost me $5, man. I'm just saying. Hey, welcome, everybody, to the Iron Elite Podcast Show with your boy, Sarge. Man, we've got a big-time show for you today. So you want to go yonder. So you want to realize some of these great long-distance trips that you've been imagining that you wanted to do for 2025. But we're going to talk about it today to see if let me put it this way, to see if your bucket list trip, have you prepared and prepared yourself correctly for this trip? So let everybody know we're on. Share it with a friend. Let's go.
I was asked the other day, hey Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.
Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting y'all don't gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting y'all gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Sliding on my road glide, looking so fly. 20-inch rollback, screaming eagle torque pack. I-10 to the end, it's a known patch. If you ain't a ground pounder, pay attention, fall back. We iron elite boys, no need for hitting switches. We split lanes and hogging lanes, we on a mission. On our way to CA, we 100 deep. Hold it up, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? I'm outside with it, I scrape the town burning loud when the smoke clear up. You know I hardly did it, I'm real naughty with it. My ride clean when it bling, I show the lean on the scene to get jiggy with it. No did it, get it? I'm well equipped it. My bike side got a side, so you know I'm hitting. She dropped it down and split it, backed it up to shift it. Let me kick a little game to you lames riding around here, giving a set a bad name. It don't matter what you rank or what you claim. When we turn it up, you keep it motorcycling, man. My soul brothers, they roll runners, we rolling deep. When it's time to rally up, it's Black Wall Street. When you see them MCs at the RTE, roll it up, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig?
But Sarge, why you always gotta talk about motorcycling? Sarge, why you don't never talk about nothing else? Look here, man. If you gonna do all that crying, what the baby gonna do?
Hey, man, once again, happy Sunday to everybody. If you've been on that highway, hopefully you're making it back home safe and sound. And I know you could be doing anything and you could be anywhere, but you're spending a little time with Sarge, man, on our Elite Podcast Show. But anyway, man, the name of the topic of the show today, is what's the real cost of long distance motorcycle traveling? And as you can see, I have the heavy hitters with me today. I ain't got the guys with me that gonna be riding 295 or 285. I got the real yonder go getters with me today, man. And as you can see, they ride motorcycles. So I'm gonna set it up just like this. Gentlemen, let me do this before I get started. Let me do this. Top of the evening to you. How you doing, fam?
Good. Happy. Good. How you doing?
Hey, man, that's what's up. Hey, your boy Sarge has been on a whole 2 minutes, man. He did like 10 mistakes wrong, but we gonna get it together, man. I'm gonna make it work. So, as you guys can tell, and I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about themselves. But let me start this thing off, man. Let me make this make sense. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna put y'all in the trust tree, man. I'm gonna start telling you some of my secrets. So in the beginning of January, this is what your boy Sarge does. He sits down. He sits down in a room by himself with a cup of coffee, as you guys can tell. And he opens up this book, man. You know, some people might call it different things, but I call it the Prime Directive. And what the Prime Directive is it's a book that tells me what my responsibilities are for 2025. And as I go through the list, I got this how it works out. Okay, medical insurance, check. Life insurance, check. Dental insurance, check. Mortgage insurance, homeowners insurance, check, check, check. And I move it on down. Automobile insurance and disability insurance. And I just go through all those lists of things. And then I move on and I go to the home, the mortgage, the utilities, and boom, 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 and I go right down to the automobiles and automobile insurance, et cetera, et cetera. Emergency savings, and I work my way on down. Consumer debt, credit cards, whatever else I got going on. And after I've taken that big old check that I know I'm going to get for the year, and Uncle Sam, oh, by the way, because he's the pimp of the year, Uncle Sam going to get paid before everybody get paid. And I dwindle that stuff on down, and I got this little bit of something left. Now I have to make a little something work along with PTO to come up with my yonder schedule. Hey, fellas, let me ask you, is that something similar to what y'all do?
No.
No?
No.
Well, some of y'all rich. Some of y'all rich, but we're going to talk about it, man. I think PJ having a little bit of problems with his phone, but we're going to get it together.
I'm on the
His
big
hand is in
computer
the
now.
way.
Yeah, PJ, you still breathing? I think PJ got Android.
I'm on the big computer now. If you could switch
Okay,
me over.
bet. So let's go ahead and do this. Since y'all rich, let's do this, man. Let's go from top. Highway Dre, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to everybody. Tell us a little bit about you. And if somebody else has got the volume on, maybe on a computer or extra phone, if you could turn the volume down so we don't get echoing. Okay, Highway Dre, can you hear me, my guy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, the floor is yours, brother.
I knew you were going to start with Nick, the new guy. Just Dre, man. Highway Dre. Man, I've been riding a while, man, but I started doing all this, this yonder stuff, man. Chasing behind guys like Reef and Solo and 610 over there, Big Mike. But I don't think I do it like that, man. I'm riding on the hope and the prayer, I guess, man, because hey, it's expensive, man. What I do is I know I don't do a lot in November, December. I save my pennies, and then I like flip a car here and there, man, and save that money. I chill in January and February, and then all hell break loose in March, man. And I just go from there, man. Um, I know it is expensive. I cut
Right.
back. I I don't do like what other people do. I don't buy a lot of expensive clothes. I eat from the home, and I budget everything that I do,
Okay.
from the way I eat, everything. But yeah, man, I don't budget like other people budget this, that, and the other. All my money go towards gas. Every $23 is a tank of gas. And that's how my mind works. And I don't do that Harley Hotel mess. I don't do that truck stop mess 610 was just talking about. I joined the group called the Charter Group. It's a travel group, and I get my hotels at a little bit better price. I just cut corners. And one of the biggest things I do is talk to people like 610, school me on the rides I'm doing this year. He's like, man, don't come back and forth to the West Coast. Just plan your trips and stay longer and get it all knocked out. So that's going to save me a few $1,000s. Reef just.
Well, now hold on now, because we're going to break it down. I'm going to have you design it. We're going to have plenty of time to say how we set it up.
Right.
But, hey, so let's do this. PJ, if you don't mind, introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, first of all, sorry, y'all. I had my hand all in the phone, and I've been trying to get on through the computer all the meeting, and then I get onto it at the last minute, and that's where all that echo was coming from. But I apologize. Anyway, I'm PJ from the Inland Empire. I ride with a Rare Breed Motorcycle Club. My passion, my love, my everything is, besides God and my wife and the kids, is riding my motorcycle. And that's just something I really have a passion for. And it's taken me a lot of places. It's showed me a lot of things. And I just love to ride. It's never a competition to me. It's just all about the enjoyment and just the peace of mind, the wind therapy, the whole nine. I've always been kind of an adventurous person. So people that don't know me and see what I do, they might think I'm doing stuff kind of, far out. But that's just how my mind thinks, and that's how I live my life. So to go to Alaska, to go to Europe, it's a lot of places I haven't even been yet. I'm trying to get over to Australia and a couple other places. But God willing, I'll get there. But bottom line, y'all, I love to ride my bike. I'm serious about it. And preparation and everything is key. And prioritizing is very key. Trying to keep up with everybody ain't what it's all about. If you can go cross country, you can go cross country. It doesn't make you no less of a motorcycle rider. So that's not what it's all about. You do what's in your means to do. Don't tear up your family or nothing else behind trying to, do what other people do. We put it on YouTube. Watch it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's me, PJ, I.E. Bree.
Hey, that's what's up. And, I'm gonna go on a limb and say PJ ride a couple miles a year. He ride a couple miles, man. I'm gonna put it out there. Hey, also, so our third guest, man, 6'10", and I'm telling y'all, he kind of tall. I'm just gonna say that right now. 6'10", what's happening, my guy?
How you doing, Sarge? Hey,
I'm good, brother.
And PJ brothers, how y'all doing?
Good. Nice to see you, 6'10".
So I've been riding. I've been riding for 52 years.
Lord have mercy.
Damn.
And I started I laughed because I started on an Enduro, a Honda 250, and then moved up to Harleys and been on Harleys, and I've been riding distance for a while. A lot. I ride by myself on the distance stuff by myself because my philosophy is if I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm by myself. I get on the road and go. But if I'm with somebody else, I got to worry about what time they want to wake up and they want to eat breakfast, they want to drink coffee, and they want to bullshit. And I'm not about that. I'm about getting on the bike and going. So when we talk, we'll talk about my plan this year is I'm going to do the 48 and 10. I've done I-10 to the end twice. I did, and I've been to the East Coast 4 times. I've been pretty much everywhere, but we'll talk about it on this podcast. So go ahead on, Sarge. You run this thing, man.
Hey, that's what's up, man. First and foremost, let's do this real quick. Give it up for the fellas that's on with us this evening. And oh, by the way, man, we got some heavy hitters in the house tonight. Shout out to my man Jimmy, D-Bell, Princess McCall, Bolo, Breezy Does It, man. Shout out to K Solo the Rider from the podcast. Riding with K Solo with Logic, man. Go check him out on his YouTube. He's big things popping over there, man. So thank you for everybody who took the time to come in with us this evening. I know there's a lot of things going on Sunday, man, but you guys are spending a little bit of time with us this evening. So we're going to try to make some of this stuff make sense, man. We've had everything from, and as we get into it, we'll see. We got Highway Dre who say, I'm going to eat bologna for a few months, and then I'm going to be ready to to PJ, who's got a prime directive above and beyond a prime directive. And then we got 16 who just flat out rich. So, hey, man, I'm going to stop playing, man. Saw you trying to be mature. I'm going to be mature today, but, man, we're going to talk about it. And so let's do it like this. Let's get this thing started. So if you're a rider you're riding, say, local, or you might be riding, say, in your state, other than Texas, because Texas is damn near big enough to be a country. But if you're a rider, you're running a couple, 200, 300 miles from here to there to go, maybe go to a bike event or go to see a special thing or to just get out on the back roads. Maybe this might be above and beyond what you need to worry about. But if you're one of those guys like these gentlemen that we have here on the podcast show today, where you're doing things like the Four Corners, if you're doing things like the Truex, if you're doing the series like PJ and those guys did, him and Frizz and Kodak and Cool Breeze, those guys went from Key West and went up top to Maine and cut across 9 provinces of Canada and then went up to Prudhoe Bay and then came back down and did God knows whatever. It really does take, it takes a lot of proper planning. It takes a lot of preparation in order to execute this type of ride and these type of things. And just like PJ said, hey, man, there's a season for all this stuff. Not everybody can do everything. But for those today, those who are out here watching today or be watching this video in the future, we want to give you some tools, man, to take a look at that you can maybe put in your tool bag in order for you to be able to execute one of these goals, one of these rides. You might want to go to the Sturgis one day. You might want to go to Black Wall Street. You might want to go to whatever the case may be. We're going to talk about it. And oh, by the way, I've got these guys have gone to different countries. So that stuff does take preparation. So, gentlemen, let's throw it out there, man. So since we started with you, Highway Dre, let's talk about it. Okay, 2024, I know you did some pretty big rides. Am I correct?
Yeah, I did a couple.
You did a lot more than a couple, man. Stop. So let's talk about it. So for you, Highway Dre, getting ready to do 2025. You getting ready to do, I think you were trying to do the SCMA ride. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. The Grand Slam.
Yeah, I'm going to do Grand Slam, yeah.
Okay, so can you explain to us what consists of the Grand Slam? It's made up of the Southern California Motorcycle Association, which is an organization that sponsors these type of rides. Am I correct?
That's right. The SCMA, they make it easy, man. I've done the Four Corners of the United States, and I just recently did the Three Flags. But the way we did the Three Flags was we made it fun. We did a 8-day trip and just made it fun. But the Grand Slam is 16 can tell you more about it than I can, but it's the Grand Slam just added an extra road. It was 6 challenges, and then it went last year to 7 because they added the Cabot Trail, and this year is 8 because they added the Mother Road, right? 16?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 8, and it's the big one, man. It's the big one. It consists of the Great Adventure, the 3 rides in California, which is the 15 best roads, the missions, and the parks, which is that's from the East Coast. That's a big deal. So that's 3. Then you got there it is right there. See, 16 just did it last year.
Yeah.
And then you got the Mother Road, which is Route 66. Then you got the 15 best roads in the United States. Then you got the Four Corners, the Cabot Trail, and the Three Flags Classic. You have from April 15th. No, you can do it anytime, right? But you have until November the 15th to finish.
So, yeah, I think when I actually had the rep on, the president of the SCMA, I had him
Right.
on. And I know Coach K Solo and D Bell are on with us tonight, man. Hey, if D Bell or K Solo on with us tonight, give me I think it's about 9 months to do that. If you guys,
Yeah.
gentlemen, you could put it in the chat, let
Yeah.
me know. But
Yeah, they got 9 months to do it. Man,
You got till
I'm
November.
all, yeah. I'm all in, man. When I tell you I'm all in, I got a tablet downstairs where I'm breaking it down. But what I've been doing is talking to like 610 and Reef and other people that has done these things, and they're actually making it a lot easier than what I was planning on doing. And it's just a series of small rides, man. And
mhm.
that's all it is, man. You just got to get out there and do it and have fun doing it.
Okay,
That's
so
all it is.
so okay, so there actually I actually did a podcast with that man. It was K Solo. It was oh my
Reef and
God,
Monica.
Monica and
Right.
Reef.
Reeks.
Yeah, and
That's
then the
right.
president of SCMA. Okay, so
That's right.
that ride, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, to be able to do it all, I think we came up with something like approximately like 20,000, 23,000 plus miles. Does that
It's
sound about right? 610.
about right. Yep.
Okay, so we know what riding, say for you, highway drive, so 20,000 plus miles in a year. Okay, how do you? What are some of the steps that you take to plan and execute to be able to be gone so many times to do these adventures on your bike? How do you put your budget together?
Well, like right now, just like right next week, of course you got to prep your bike. So next week I'm getting new bearings, putting my wheels, and I'm doing my forks. So you got to prep your bike first off. You got to have your bikes. I ride two bikes, so you got to prep them and have them ready. And that's the first thing. Then you got to call people. For me, I call people such as 610. He lives out there in California. And you got to talk to people like Reef and got to plan your trips ahead of time as far as your base camp. So when you come out there, like 610, it's like, nah, don't come out here for 7 days or 8 days. Give yourself 12 days or 13 days. So as far as my money, what I do is I put aside X number of dollars. I clear up what I call I zero out a credit card. So at the beginning of the year, it's zeroed out, and it's a mean credit card too, So, and I have that zeroed out, and I just sold a car, and so I just set money aside, man. I just stack that paper, man. So when I go, I don't want to have any financial issues because anything can happen. When we were in Canada, I had to go to the Harley shop and spend 800 unexpected dollars. That was on top of what I had budgeted for. Then as soon as I got back, I had to spend $1,200 that I didn't budget for. So you have to have that contingency too. So if you budget, say for one of the trips, you budget $2,800, you better have 38 or 4,000 because anything can happen. So it's you got to be prepared, man, because if you don't, you'll be lost in the sauce, man. And then also you talk about logistics. I know the finances is big time, but you gotta make phone calls, man, and reach out to these
Mhm.
brothers, man, that's out there just in case something happened. You gotta like, hey, bro, I'm coming your way. Just letting you know I'm gonna be around. But
Okay, so what I gather right now. Okay, so sound like you go this way. Okay, look, I've got a pretty robust credit card or charge card situation where I know
yeah,
I'm gonna run it up to a certain extent because I know I'm gonna have enough cash to take care of whatever the bills is. So I'm not gonna
that's
let
right.
that be a burden right now. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay. Then the next side, you're saying, okay, look, I know there's guys out there, 610, PJ, K Solo, Reef, those guys. I know there's guys out there who got a lot of experience with doing what I would want to do, my dream ride. So I'm going to
Yes, sir.
consult with the Justice League of motorcycle riding. So
Yes, sir.
I'm going to talk to those guys and figure those out. And then I'm going to try to tie my rides into connects. People I might
Uh-huh.
know out the West Coast, people I might know in
Yes, sir.
the South, and I'm gonna put I'm gonna string these particular things together. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And then
It's yeah.
because you got a lot of money, you got two motorcycles.
No.
Okay. Okay, well, Dre ain't got no money, but he do have two nice motorcycles. So I'm just yeah. So then you obviously got two bikes that you kind of alternate with riding. Am I correct?
Yeah. The one bike I'll go short rides, man. 400
Okay.
miles, 500 miles. I'll ride the Road King, but I ain't riding that thing past Texas. I ain't going
Okay.
past, so far.
Okay, cool. Okay, hey, I'm gonna go 6'10" next because I'm gonna hold on to the guy who got the real prime directive. 6'10", how you
Yeah,
put it
he
together?
rich.
Because I've
He
seen
rich.
6'10s, get down. That thing is like when you go into Disney and you get all the coupons and all the maps and all the binders and
Hey,
the books. That's 6'10".
hey,
So
You
and
gonna
don't
eat good, you
don't
gonna drink
don't be
good.
mad at me. Don't be mad at
yeah.
me. I got
Hey,
so I want
You
to
gonna
the
eat
brother
good.
Jimmy got I see he got a thing on here about the 20,000 plus miles only
right.
cause. So and I think I'm just going to talk to that real quick. If you plan it right, that 20,000 miles includes everything. Because and I use Dre for an example. When Dre comes out here, he's going to include, from what I understand, the Mother Road, and then the four
Yeah,
rides that are here in California.
yeah,
So then you'll do the other ones when you do the four corners. You'll knock some stuff out. So it's
yeah.
not just the ride to, and you don't the 20,000 includes the whole year. If I understand correctly, because that's how I would do it. So for example, this year I was planning on doing the I'm not planning. I'm gonna do the 48 and 10. And what I do is I go online to IBA and ask them, or look on the people that are talking about that. And there's a Facebook page for 48 and 10. And I saw a dude that had a map that works perfectly. It's like 7,000 miles and some change to do it. And you start in Needles, California, and you hit all 48 states in 10 days, a little less than 10 days. And um, one of the things that Dre was talking about doing his wheel bearings, and one of the things that people don't realize is if you get a new tire, you can change the wheel bearing for next to nothing because the uh, the um, the labor is taking the wheel off. Or if you're taking it off for the tire, just have them press the wheel bearings out and put new ones in. Those are things that, and I changed my own oil. I changed my own brake pads. I changed my own rotors. See, those are things that I don't think I'm anything special. But to change three holes on a motorcycle, it might take an hour, but it saves you a ton of money. And I buy my oil from my oil and my filter from Amazon, and I get my gear oil from AutoZone. And I'm in the whole thing for maybe $125, $130, and it takes me an hour or so out of my day to do it, and I'm good to go. But planning wise, um, and I stay at like I was just looking at I was checking already in Needles, California, and there's an Econo Lodge for $57. I mean, I'm not going to stay at a Motel 6, but I'm going to stay at a choice. I stay at choice hotels when I travel on my bike because they usually have good hotels, and I stay at the ones that have breakfast. So if I decide to stay a little bit late until 6:30 in the morning, then I can eat for free for breakfast, and you're not trying to eat on the road. So those are the things that I try to do, and you can usually stay at a choice hotel for fairly reasonable. And I mean, it's to me, it's not about that. I don't buy T-shirts, I don't buy none of the other stuff, but I do have the discount ESP. That's the one thing that if you don't have it, that's the one thing I would recommend
Oh, we
anybody
gonna
getting
talk about it. Yeah,
is getting discount ESP.
yeah.
Because when you break down shit, it's $50 and they fixing it, and
Yeah,
they'll
we're
tell
gonna.
you where you need to
Yeah,
go. And so, I mean, discount ESP is the ticket. So,
yeah.
but other than that, and the then I'm gonna do the Three Flags Classic, which is this year starting in Mexico. I'm going to end up in Canada. Um, I'm doing another ride with another group of people that, and this and talk to the dude that Jimmy. So when I do the 48 and 10, I'm gonna end up in Washington, and this other ride I'm gonna do starts in Oregon. And I'm gonna end up in Oregon, and it starts in Washington. So I just rolled up to Washington and start this other ride. A lot of it has to do with just planning, and I'm not worried about it. See, I can do all my work job wise on a phone or on a laptop, so I'm not worried about that. So, and that's I'm not trying to. I don't think I'm big
Hey,
time. I just think that
so you don't have those PTO issues.
no, no, I'm the boss.
Ain't like us normal slappies. We got that PTO problem we got to work. But let me say this, 610. This is something that you said that I really honed in on. And oh, by the way, your boy Sarge is taking notes. So if you can do some of the general maintenance yourself, let's say down here, Harley Davidson, if you're going to do a 3-hole punch, you're probably talking 320 for that.
That's cheap.
Probably 345. You know, I'm sure in California, maybe other different states, it might go up a little bit more. But I'm gonna say at the minimum, you're probably paying about 320, 325. So if you're able to do your own fluid changes, that's a big deal. You just cut that price down in half. Am I correct?
Yep.
Just cut it in half. So also, if you're doing things like I hear the dealer will tell you wheel bearings. You change them when they go bad. I hear some people say they change them every other tire change. Do you guys got a specific thing that you feel about that?
So when I came back from Alaska, I changed them. I got new tires and I changed my wheel bearings because that mud up there. I mean, it's like concrete. But I will do it every other tire change. Other than that, that's the one time I did it before that. But every other tire change, and I do my oil every 5,000, and I change all 3 holes every 5,000 miles because it only takes 10 minutes more, and it's only $20 more for me because I use gear oil.
Okay. And then obviously you got a string of hotels that you use, the Choice Hotels.
The Choice Hotels.
Sure you got discount points and stuff that you use for those Choice Hotels.
Yes. But they don't last all year, so I use them as long as they last, and then I'm good. And I just pay out of pocket, and I'm not trying to be big time, but I worked long and hard to get to where I am, and I'm not trying to. I'm not staying at a Ritz, but I'll stay at an Econo Lodge. I'll stay at any Choice hotel that's out there because I think it's a fairly good chain of hotels.
Yeah,
and somebody else might want to stay at the Best Western or some other one. I ain't mad at the Wyndham.
Yeah. Shout out to K Solo, man. K Solo say he'll stay at the Momo. I said I can't do it.
He do that.
I can't do the Momo. Anybody do the Momo? I can't do the Momo. Hey man, God bless you.
So, but one thing I'm gonna try this year, Sarge, I'm gonna try to stay. And when I did the Three Flags Classic this last year, some brothers was talking about they stay at the truck stops in the lounge, in the truckers lounge, because they got nice big good recliner chairs. And he said every time that he went, the truckers make sure they look out for your bike. You put your bike out in front, they don't mess with you.
Cameras all around it too.
Yep. So I'm gonna try that this year.
And you ain't gotta wake up and worry about somebody trying to do something crazy to you.
No.
Yeah. Showers the whole 9. Am I correct?
Yep. They got everything.
Okay. So PJ,
yes,
man, PJ don't be playing, man. PJ, hey man, PJ, you done went to France, to Europe, to PJ. What did you do? Win the lottery? How you do all this, man? How you put them rides together?
I'm like my brother, 6'10". It's you work hard. You work for what you want. You develop standards and you develop a way of life. And when I fell into motorcycles, I was still a dreamer. And I've been around the state so many times, it was just something else I wanted to try to do. And then, being married, you got to do some campaigning. And then after the big campaign, then I got my wife on board, and it kind of took off right there.
Hey, shout out to Low Key. Low Key say you got to pay it forward. Hey, PJ call it campaigning. So PJ, what is campaigning? Break it down for us, C students. So married C students, so we'll see what you talk about. What's campaigning?
Yeah.
Well, first, it's like, well, I just said like everybody said now, you got to make it make sense. So you got to talk about it because in this house here is teamwork. One money is all money. So we got to respect each other and respect what's going on in the household. And then we just start building toward that point. So if this is my appetite, that means that in order for me to eat this kind of way, or us to eat this kind of way, we have to project how we make money, and what kind of money we need to make to live this type of lifestyle. So that's what I mean by campaigning. Just getting on the same team with your spouse.
Oh, everything we do, we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be a plan, and then we're going to go to work together to execute this plan. Did I sum it up right?
Yeah, yeah.
Does mama go on some of these trips with you, or is this something that you do yourself?
Only thing she'll do is like the Europe.
Okay.
That's her favorite. Now
Imagine
she'll go
that.
to Europe, she'll go over there, and she want to buy her purses and all that stuff. But as far as what I do throughout the year, the 5 mandos with my organization, and then the little stuff that I come up with every year. Every year I try to plan at least a 12 to 15,000 mile trip. Something that's gonna keep me out for a while. But other than that, she don't ride on those. She don't like motorcycle that much.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Well, gentlemen, we've talked about the generic side of this thing. Okay, hey man, you got to have some money. You got to have a plan. You need to use your network to talk to folks to be able to make good, smart decisions about the before, the during of the trip. Let's take it from this point. Okay, say the easy one. Okay, not only we need to be able to be on top of our maintenance, we also have to make sure that we have the proper equipment. I know some of y'all ride motorcycles like Daniel Boone out there with jeans and a tank top and a squirrel hat and all that stuff, but that's not realistic. When we're talking everything from the sweltering heat of Key West to the blistering cold of, say, riding through Montana. So now, not only do we have to have an execution plan, we also got to have an equipment plan. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, shout out to D Bell, man. These suits. Now, if you D Bell and the Bells, now you're gonna have some Superfly stuff.
They got everything.
If you Sarge, you're gonna have some, you're gonna have some lower tier stuff. So, fellas, is that a thing that we put in a place? How do we budget for that? And how do I know what to bring and what to pack and what to buy for my long distance trip? Say, for instance, I'm doing the Four Corners. Is everybody done the Four Corners so far?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everybody has done coast to coast.
Yes.
And Alaska.
Yep.
So how do I put this together? So do I research and do I buy certain things in advance and stock this stuff up? Anybody take this? Just take this and let's go around the corner. Hit us up first, PJ.
Yeah, it's a process, and that's something I left out. I didn't know if you were asking like that at first, but taking trips and riding is a whole process. It's a process from getting your bike together, getting yourself together. I've ridden with people that have certain medications they have to take. So you might be focused on, hey man, let's get your bike together. Let's get the plan together, how long we're going to be out. But medical is important too. So I would say we need to have our bikes together. We need to have our medical together. We need to have ourselves together. When I say ourselves, that means our equipment. And it's very important, I found out in my riding, that I've always tried to stress to people, have the right equipment. Because if I'm prepared for 31-degree temperature, 21-degree temperature, wet, and I'm on a ride, we're on a mission. So we run into that situation, and you got to stop and shut the whole ride down because you don't have the right equipment, you don't have the right clothing on. And a lot of our heating equipment is something that you just don't. Well, you can, if you got the money, like 610, but
Man, don't be,
hey, you can just mess with you. You can pull into Harley and say, "Oh darn, I need to buy a heated suit," or "I need to buy rain gear." Me, I had to shoot. I got tired of freezing, so one year I bought my riding gear. One year I bought my heating gear, and then now all of a sudden I have my gear and I maintain it. But the point is it's very important that when you ride with somebody, that you are riding at the same level as far as your equipment. Your bike should be taken care of up to par. It shouldn't be missing an oil change, taking off on a bad bearing, leaving the house with a bad tire. All that's part of your trip. You should know where you're going. Even if I'm planning the trip, and when I plan a trip, I always make sure that I bring everybody along the planning process. So we know where we're going to go, how long we're going to be, where we're going to stop. But unforeseen circumstances will come up, and you're not going to stop where you thought you was going to stop. Or sometimes you're going to run past where you thought you were going to stop because you did better that day. But we should all know where we're going and what it's going to require us to get there. You should understand your weathers. What's your 10-day forecast? What does it look at when I get to Texas? You don't just drive up to Texas and all of a sudden, oh damn man, I'm in a storm. Man, it's storming, it's raining. Really, dude? You're gonna do yourself that you love like that. So you're gonna tell yourself, let's just go take a ride. Whatever we run into out there, that's what it is. It don't matter. I love myself better than that. I love my wife. So there's a lot of planning that goes into what I do. And thank God most of all, but all this time as we can see, we've been making it back home. But planning is very important. Knowing where you're going is very important. And then what it's going to take to get there. There's formulas out there. You can calculate your fuel, your hotel. I used to, and I wanted to
Hey,
piggyback off
don't
the
give us
guys.
don't
They
give
were
us the
talking
formula
about
yet,
the
PJ.
discounts and everything, right?
Don't give us the formula yet. We gonna get to it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I used to, and everybody talking about, PJ, you ride all day, you ride all night. I'll stay in the saddle for 48 hours. I just ride the motorcycle. So, but that was all about because my wife was like, well, we only have this much money. If you want to take that trip, you can't be just staying here all night and this, that, because the hotels didn't add up. It was taking me out the box, right? So I
Right.
said, honey, guess what? What if I just ride my bike? Then I just sleep at truck stops. But I made it sound a little more better than that to her.
Yeah.
So she could chew on it, right? So but what I was actually doing, I would ride, man. I would ride till I just get tired. I'd go from here way across the country. Then I go to a truck stop. Smalley taught me that. Lay down on the bench or something. Man, I lay down, have my hand on my gun on this side and on the bench sleep. And then I wake up, give me a couple hours, wake up, brush my teeth, and I will ride. So hotels was never really a problem not even after a couple of days, because what I would also do is back to that truck stop thing. I would go, they got some truck stops with theaters and everything in them,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a Class A license. So I always go in there and take a shower. But I still didn't have to spend a lot of time over there, or I didn't have to spend for a hotel. So anyway, there was a lot of things to do it now. Now that I've gotten soft, I'm pretty much sleeping in a hotel every night. And it don't matter where, but anyway, yeah, it's a whole planning process. Get back to it. It's a whole planning process. And I think everybody should know it from point A to point B, no matter if you're a new rider or a seasoned rider. You need to know everything that goes into going across these highways. It just makes everything safer. It keeps down the arguments. It just everything. So anyway, that's
Well, just taking it back to some of the things that made me or gave me the idea for this show in the first place. On the Iron Elite group page on the Facebook page, we have a lot of quote unquote ground pounders or yonder go getters, and I would see things where guys had great goals they wanted to accomplish in 2025, whether it was the Syntex ride, which shout out to Kool-Aid and his ride that he does out there out of Killeen, Texas, or some of the rides from FCMA, or some of the rides from IBA, or the I-10 and what have you. I will hear people say, my goal is to do the 40,000, the 40K patch, or I want to run 50 grand, or I want to do what K Solo and those guys were doing 100 grand, or him and Reef. And I started thinking, wow, I hear a lot of people say that. Man, let's talk about what it really takes to do that. And as I think about this, and the gentlemen we got on this panel, these guys are being very humble. These guys are putting in, tens of thousands of miles each year. They really are. So what I wanted to get in to say, okay, so if Sarge wanted to accomplish, say, 20,000 miles. Now, if you want to ride 20,000 miles, if you use your motorcycle as your work vehicle and you go into the store, and you probably could do 20,000 in a year if you just, made your motorcycle everything. But this is for the guys and the girls who are making trips to go see things and events and those type of things. So as I look at it, 20, 30, 40,000 miles, not only the motorcycle has to be together, the gear on that bike, you're going to have gear for summer, spring, fall, inclement weather, heating elements, boots. You're going to have for all seasons. Am I correct, gentlemen?
So let me jump in here right quick, because
go for it, my guy.
All you short brothers think this shit is easy, because I can't buy the same shit your brothers can buy. I cannot buy the same shit your brothers are buying. So I have my heated gear is from Gerbing, when the Gerbing was in Ojai, California, many years ago. And back then they were making custom stuff. So my pants are longer and my jacket is longer because they were doing it back then. And that's when I had saved some pennies and didn't have to worry about nothing else. And then I ride with chaps or with Carhartt double knee pants, because I can't get riding pants to fit me. So fuck all of y'all. So and it's so and if that word it bothered you, I'm sorry, but I ain't sorry. But
no, we after hours. We good. We after hours.
But I have my heated gear. I have my heated gloves. I bought some because of what I do for a living. I bought at wholesale some heated socks, and I haven't worn them yet. I'm gonna try those. And so my jacket I have, and then my rain gear is just, see, the thing that people don't see, and so many people don't want to put a bag on the top of their tour pack, and which I have no problem doing that. So I got a bag on top of my tour pack. I got 2 saddle bags, but one is full of my tools and stuff, and then I got my tour pack. So I've got my rain gear I carry with me all the time when I'm on the road. My heated gear I carry with me all the time, but when I'm on the road, I carry a jacket and a light jacket, and I'm good to go. I mean, the thing that I don't have a problem doing is, and this is one thing that I would suggest everybody that's doing yonder riding, is get some soap pods and put them in a Tupperware thing and put them in your bag, and then stop somewhere and do laundry. When we did when we did the Three Flags Classic, I was in Canada and went to the laundromat and washed my clothes. You don't have to bring as many clothes if you wash every 5 or 6 days. You don't have to wash as much. I mean, you don't have to bring as much. So, I mean, people make it sound like you got to have a lot of stuff. You need a warm jacket. You need a light jacket, and then you need some rain gear top and the bottom, and some heated gear, some heated gloves, and the rest of this stuff. I mean, it's just not mandatory. The rest of the stuff is just stuff that you need. The stuff that I just named, things that I consider mandatory.
Right. So, okay. So on the equipment side, we know if you're riding this kind of distance in a year, you're going to have heated gear and the heating elements. If you're not rocking heated gear, you're going to have some layers, some real good layers.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
I don't think there's enough base layer on the planet
to keep you
to make it for a heated suit. I
No.
think you need a
But you know
heated.
what, Sarge?
Yeah.
Sarge, nowadays they got all this new stuff out, man. The days of with those like you was talking about David Bell, man. Like that climbing suit,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Those suits
that's
actually work.
Gucci.
If
Oh yeah,
you
climb ain't
in
no joke.
30, right,
Yeah.
right. When you in 30, what say 35 to 40-degree weather,
Uh
those
huh.
riding suits work, man. I mean, they really, really work, man.
But they heated because
Yeah.
Highway Smiley got
Yeah. But he has
he and
heating
his wife
elements
got
with
that
that suit.
heated suit.
Yeah. Man, I'm
They
just
got this.
not that hardcore. I can't be. I need a heated suit, man. Ain't doing all that,
Yeah.
bro. That's
Look, I'll tell you what, man.
yeah.
PJ was talking about riding and being and packing and being logistical. I remember the first time I did Four Corners. I was talking to my man down in Selma, man. My man was like Scooter Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm doing the Four Corners in June. I don't need all that stuff." He said,
Yeah.
"Take it." He said, "Take it." I said, "Man, it's
Take it.
June."
Take
He
it
said,
home with
"Take
you.
it." Yeah,
Yeah.
and I took it. I took my cold weather gear. I didn't want to take it. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
June,
Hey,
man.
don't
I
let me
was
pull up
coming through,
weather in Montana in June. Don't let me pull that up
right,
for
right,
you. Yeah.
bro. I came through Arizona like 117 degrees.
Yeah.
Man, that was on Tuesday. That was Tuesday, bro. I was coming through Oregon, going into Washington State on Thursday or Friday morning. It was like 40 degrees. It felt like
Uh,
it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you better take it. You better take all
yeah.
that gear when you're out there riding. I
Yeah.
learned,
Facts.
and when PJ was talking, you were saying, "How do you do it?" Most of the time, you learn the hard way, bro.
Mm,
Yep.
You learn the hard way how to pack.
Yep.
You learn.
mm,
You learn. You go out there the first time,
yeah.
and you'll know better the next time.
Yeah. Hey,
And
what D
I
Bell said,
found
hey,
out when a lot of the stuff we talking about now, it's just like second nature to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, like, if I went downstairs right now, and even when I got that Pan America, first thing I did is I split my gear up because I had two
Yep.
heated suits and all of that from
Yep.
over the years. So I
Yeah.
made sure that that bike was loaded. It has a
The
first aid
other.
kit on it. It has tools
Yeah.
on it. It has the
Yes,
air
sir.
pump on it. It got everything because I'm getting older. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember like I used to. So
Mm-hmm.
I mess around and leave here and forget something. So them bikes downstairs right now is pre-packed, but it's like a second nature to me
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to take a trip. It just
Mm-hmm.
everything kind of falls in line on what needs to be done and what has to be done.
Yes, sir.
And I love to share it. Like when you talked about this show, it's second nature to me now, but for a lot of people, it's far off. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
mean? They need that knowledge and that understanding, and it just make their life so much simpler and safer.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
So for everybody that's on with us on Facebook, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this Facebook feed here in probably about the next 60 seconds. If you guys would be so kind to come over to YouTube, open up a second tab, the YouTube channel, Sarge Life and Motorcycling. And when you come in on YouTube, please reach up and hit a like so we can get the algorithms kicking and get things moving out there. But for those who just joined us today, we're talking what's the real cost of long distance motorcycle travel? And we're talking about it, we're breaking it down from the preparation to the execution phase, equipment, gear, money, network, the whole nine. We're trying to give you some tools to hopefully be able to use to make sure that some of these bucket list rides that you plan on accomplishing in 2025 is a reality. So, gentlemen, we just summed up the equipment, and I think D Bell hit it best. He said, base layer, heated gear, rain suits, you can't go wrong. That should be a
Can't go wrong.
year-round thing on the motorcycle.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
correct?
Automatic.
Yes,
Automatic.
sir.
So,
And,
Yep.
and and also,
so
you know what 610 was saying, how much it costs. You know, I get 80% of my gear from, and I got that stuff laying everywhere out there.
what cycle
I get
gear?
it off. I get it off marketplace, man.
Oh, marketplace. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
now.
And most of it's like new, because
Yeah.
folks are
Right.
buying and don't use it.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Well, well, Facebook, we're coming off Facebook. If you guys don't mind, move over to YouTube. Sarge Life and Motorcycling is the YouTube channel. And if you forget, I'm going to put that up on the screen here. If you give me 1 second. There it is. So 3, 2, 1. Hang tight. We're coming off Facebook now. Okay, so we're still on and rocking and rolling. So okay, so I think we've covered the equipment as far as the clothing. Okay, let's talk about. Somebody said you better have an ESP. I think that was 16 that said that,
This
right?
would be the discount ESP. Yep.
Yeah.
So discount ESP or discount is the secondary plan that you can get minus Harley Davidson. So discount is a universal policy for every bike. Am I correct?
Yes.
And then Harley has theirs, and I'm sure other places might have theirs, but you got to have an ESP, extended service plan. Okay. Let's break it down. Somebody want to take that. What the hell is that, and why do I need it? Somebody want to grab that?
That's an insurance policy, man. And I started with the Harley one, and I went away from it because I did some stuff to my engine. And Harley, once you touch the engine, Harley's ESP used to not work. I couldn't tell you how it works now because discount ESP, you can do anything you want to the engine, and it's still covered. And it's just, I mean, if your bike breaks down, you get it towed to the shop, or if you're at the shop, and it's a $50 deductible, and I do wheel and tire also, and the battery.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's I got the whole bike covered from them, and some people might say it's expensive, but break down on the road and then talk to me about being expensive.
It's not
Shit, I don't-
nearly as expensive as it's going to be to do on the road repair. Am I
Right.
am I right,
Oh.
Highway Dre?
Hey man, hey, it cost me nothing, man. I think Big Sarge looked out for me, baby. You gotta have it. That bike I got, Harley had like a 2-week thing, and on my drivetrain, I got a lifetime warranty on that bike.
Mm,
People say they never heard of it, but they built me a new engine. That bike that I just rode cross country a couple of times, brand new engine, $0.
Yeah, that extended service plan, I don't know. It
It
depends on when you buy it, who you buy it
Right.
from. It can go from anywhere from, what do y'all think, gentlemen? $2,500 up to what, maybe $3,800? Is that fair?
I think 25 is if you pay more than that, then you
paying too much.
You're paying too much.
23.
Yeah.
I think on my blue bike it was 23 something or whatever.
Yeah.
Last
Something
time
like
was
that.
23 for me too.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, look, I done used mine twice. Hey,
Oh yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
I got
You
brand
can't
new
beat
engine.
it. You can't. That just like he said, it just gave me chills listening to him because it's just the move. That's the move. You need that tire and wheel. Before I pull them out of there, I got the tire and wheel on it, and I got the ESP on it right away. Right away. You ain't even
Can't
worried
do-
about a lemon now.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not,
But it's a must-have. That's a must-have.
Harley Davidson losing messing with me.
Yeah, me too.
and you beat and you beating the brakes off of mine. I mean, and if you don't have it, okay, if you're one of those guys, you're a millionaire and you can whatever, you got money to spend, okay, you can cut it off and do whatever. I still wouldn't suggest it. I think it's unacceptable. In my opinion, I think it's unacceptable to be getting across the country, Four Corners, True X's, Canada, those type of things, and you don't rock with the ESP.
Sarge,
it's
real quick,
irresponsible.
and that money is not for 1 year. That's between 3 and 5 years.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
just so people
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
And look, another comfort about it is, how we spend money, and you can go to places where you be like, I don't want to spend no money here. I don't like how this look, or they overcharging me, right? It's the comfort you get out of ESP in the tire package. I don't care where my bike break down at, friendly spot or unfriendly spot. I got insurance. The most you're gonna charge me is $50. I need my bike fixed.
Correct.
You're done.
Correct.
You know what I
Correct.
mean? Instead of them coming out with a whole lot of diagnoses on you, this gone bad, your stator gone, and this and this and this. You don't really care. All that headache is gone. All you
Yeah.
worry about is goddamn, how I get out of here now.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey
So
man,
it's
shout
worth
out,
it.
shout out to Bolo, man. He's got a point. Hey, man, we got folks watching, man. Hit the like button. It won't cost you nothing, not a dollar, not a dime. All it does is just show you appreciate what we're trying to put on with this content this evening. So if you can do that for us, be so kind and hit the like button. But also, let me say this, man. This, if you in breed and you don't have an ESP, I don't know what the hell you do. That need to be part of y'all's bylaws. I'm just gonna say, I don't get nobody's club business, but if you in breed and you ain't got an ESP, good gooey goo.
Yeah, it's pretty much unspoken.
Yeah. Hey, man, you better get
not,
one.
you're going to learn to.
Hey, you going to learn today. So also, wheel and tire package. Now, that's separate from the ESP. Now, I know PJ, that wheel and tire package, you needed that, homie. Am I correct? Okay.
Hey, didn't they have like 4 flat tires?
Hey, man, going the ultimate yonder.
Thank you, Harvey.
What did you do, PJ? You busted everything you could on the wheel. Am I correct?
Yeah, just another good one on that. Some of the PM rims that you can get, PM is pretty good. I'm not. That's just what I run, and I'm not sponsoring them or nothing, like whatever. They sponsor me, but it's a good rim. But here's the deal: that's the rim I run, but it seems like every time I have a problem in that area, that stock Harley rim that's on my bikes costs just as much as that PM. So I don't lose nothing. You kind of get what I'm saying? It's not like a custom problem. Oh, you got this rim, we only going to be able to replace X, Y, and Z. That your stock rim costs more than my custom rim, just about.
I can believe it.
That's all, just
I think if you bust one rim, if you mess up one rim, say the rear rim, you've already paid for the wheel and tire package.
True.
A few times over. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you should have it. Shout out to Memphis. If you ride through Memphis and them raggedy behind roads in Memphis, Tennessee, you will use. I'm telling you. Hey, man, shout out to Memphis. Fix them roads, man. I'm just saying this now. Memphis got the raggedest roads in America. You will tear a front or back tire up in a heartbeat. So again, there's roads out here going these across the highways and byways across the country. It could just not only just be a raggedy road, it could be a construction site. There's plenty of places on the 10. They're constantly doing highway repair. You hit a bump in the road, a hole in the road. Next thing you know, you got a bent rim and you got problems. So those are another thing. So gentlemen, we're going to break it down. We're talking about equipment. We're talking about ESP. We're talking about wheel and tire package. Okay, let's break it down. Let's talk about the health side. Okay, me personally, I'm not a young guy. Health insurance is non-negotiable for me. Medical insurance is non-negotiable. What do you guys think?
I got it. I ain't sweating it.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable.
I got it.
You got to hit that square away.
Who?
You need to have it in some form or fashion where you can get help. My thing on the medical is just being upfront with everybody. We had the problem last year with one of our riders, and his back was all jacked up. But he was upfront with all of us. We already knew what we was dealing with. But people that are on medication and all of that stuff, I think you should just be real transparent with that. So the brothers can look out for you, and make sure that, hey, dude, we need to get a hot meal at a certain time of day, or this guy need breakfast so he can take his medication. Then after that, he's good. Or he might be, he needs a hot lunch guy. You know what I mean? Instead of getting into it on the road because this guy needs to stop and nobody's understanding why. And the medical conditions are tough. The guys need to be reminded sometimes to, even when they're at home, to take their medication. So if you're on medications, share that with whoever you ride with. Don't keep it a secret. You know what I mean? We can save your life out there.
I totally agree. Not only that is obviously being honest with yourself, knowing your limitations out there in the road. If you're riding with a group or you're riding with a pack, know your limitations. I hear everybody say, "Ride your own ride." What the hell does that mean? I say, know your limitations, and be
Yeah.
okay with having the uncomfortable conversation with the group before, so you don't have to have the uncomfortable conversation during. Because if you're doing it during, it's probably not going to be a very pleasant conversation. If you know you can't ride at night, we need to know that ahead of time because your vision or whatever. If we know you're not comfortable riding in extreme heat, we need to know about that. Cold. I've been riding with guys and they ride, man. You know how outlaws are, man. They do outlaw stuff. You get up in the mountains and yeah, when they walk and ride wild with half gloves, doing what they're supposed to do. And all of a sudden things get real unpleasant when you ain't paying attention and prepared to do what you need to do health wise. So I'm gonna leave that on the health side. Have health insurance. Let people know about if you have underlying conditions that might require extra time, medication, fluids, or even, things like sleeping, things like with sleep apnea and those type of things. Am I correct, gentlemen?
Mhm.
Well,
Okay,
let me just say one thing to that, Sarge, because
okay.
um, I think that if people take those $5 energy drinks, they need to let people know because I ran into a situation where a person took two 5-hour energy drinks at the same time, and we had to pull over to the side of the road for over an hour and a half till they kind of would stop shaking because they couldn't ride no more. So I just think that if you're gonna drink those, you need to people know what you're drinking and how you're drinking it because anyway, that's almost leave it at that.
Yeah, those are tough, man.
That's
I know
true.
people. I know people do them. People do Red Bulls or some of the other energy drinks. My deal is on that stuff, man. You got to know, man, because you can get yourself in a world of hurt
Yeah.
if you ain't careful.
Yeah.
Because it's just sugar.
Yeah.
It's just sugar, and when you come down off that sugar, it's a crash.
That's what I
So
tell the guys. I go and the girls that if you take that, I don't have nothing against none of it, but I'm just saying, just know that it's going to crash you. So here's where I run into a problem with it. Say you take a 5-hour energy and we just starting our run. And I'm gonna run at least. I'm at least run. It depends on what leg. We try to get 1,000 out the way a day or whatever. But just say that's how we're riding that day. And so we get 150 miles into the ride, the first stop, and you already on a 5-hour energy. Before we finish the ride for that day, that 5 hours is gonna already be done dumped you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna cause a problem with us trying to maintain you to get done what we need to get done. You know what I mean? It just kind of sets things back a little bit. But yeah, that's the only thing I got to say about the 5 hours and energy drinks. If you're gonna do them, try to do them in a time where they're gonna work and get you where you got to go. But if you're taking one early in the trip and you know you still got 800 miles to do or something, you pretty much ain't cut out for what's going on. That's all I
okay.
say about that.
Anybody else got anything else
Mess
on
you up.
that?
No, that's just it. Let
Yeah,
people know.
yeah.
But see, big hard for me. I'm like 6'10". I do the majority of my riding solo. I'm always by
Right.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I'm on a 2-day ride or a 3-day ride, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Hey man,
Yeah.
I do take
Love
my
it.
CPAP. But
Yeah. Take the
so if I'm
CPAP.
on a
Take the
10,
CPAP.
No,
I
that's
always
going
got my
everywhere with
CPAP
me.
with me.
Yeah.
I always got it. But if I got a 10-day trip and I know I'm going to be out there 10 days, and like PJ was saying, I know what leg. I know every day how many miles I
I'm
want to
around.
ride at least,
Yep.
and most of the time I exceed that mileage. You know what I mean? Most of the time I exceed it, but I'm not going to put myself in danger to where I'm like, oh, I got to start drinking Red Bulls. And if I'm going to drink a Red Bull, it's at the end of the day. So what you do is, man, you don't want to put yourself in jeopardy. Because if I'm on day 3 and I'm that tired, I'll just go ahead and pull the plug, man, and get me some rest, and then
Yeah.
start over tomorrow. You know
Yep.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
So why
Yep.
Yeah.
why even put yourself in that situation? So when
Yep.
we were talking about being health, that's a part of staying healthy and fit because you got to keep your mind. You got to keep your mind in the game when you out there on day 4. See, most people hit the wall. I say it about day 5 or 6. Day 5 or 6 gonna tell the story. PJ know it. day 5, day 6, that's when you separate the men from the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they drinking Red Bull and stuff on day 2, day 3, what they
Day
gonna do on
one, shit.
day
Day one.
Right.
Yeah, they won. Can I just add
8?
one thing? Because he's making us get deep on it. But
Yeah.
on the riding, it's a trip, and I figured it out a while about the majority of the ride is mental anyway.
Yeah,
So that's why planning and knowing everything that you gonna do, like you said, we gonna stop at a certain place, we gonna do X, Y, and Z. And if you riding by yourself, the game is over.
Yeah.
They'll tell you game over. You gonna get across, do everything you need to do. But when you're in a group, so if everybody knows what's going on, they mentally be prepared.
I
So
agree.
you less apt to tap out
Mm-hmm.
right,
before you need to tap out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you
right.
don't know where you're going, man,
Yeah,
that'll burn a person out quicker
Yeah.
than just riding a motorcycle. If they, because they always fighting where we're gonna stop, and you'll know them people in the group because every time you stop it to get gas, PJ. So how far we riding today? PJ. So how many more gas stops we got? And you don't want to be rude. You want to love on them because they probably just asking you because they seriously don't know, right?
Yeah.
So you
right.
tell them, dude, we got 5 more gas stops. We're going to stop over here in Memphis, Tennessee, the hotel so-and-so, and then they kind of ease up. But they didn't ask you that till halfway into the ride where they just like kind of mentally exhausted. So
Right.
getting back to it, the majority of getting across and riding your motorcycle safely is being in a good mental place. And there's ways you get there, and planning and knowing where you're going
A big
is
deal.
very important to have you in that mental mindset. So when I decide to say, hey, we going here, you already locked in. We good. I already know this. So you're set.
Yeah.
Hey, it's one thing that I missed. I apologize. Along with the ESP, the wheel and tire package, get your towing package as well. Would you guys agree with
AAA.
that?
Yeah.
Get your
AAA.
get you a triple L. Get you what is it? A Good Son? Is it Good Son?
Good
Is the other
Sam.
one?
Good
The
Sam.
Son. You know, I ain't endorsing
Sam.
nobody's tire package.
Good Sam.
Towing package, but you should get one because there's, obviously now if you're riding by yourself and you break down, your burden is yours. But if you're riding with a group and you don't have a towing package, man, it gets really, really ugly. Trying to reach out on Facebook or trying to call a friend of a friend of a friend. If you ain't got that many friends, that's going to be a long day for you. So I would suggest that, and towing is not cheap. Is that right, fellas?
No.
And oh, by the way, imagine if you're out there in the middle of Nevada, you're out there in the middle of Western Texas or New
That's hot
Mexico
as
or
fuck.
Montana.
Montana, I was going to
And
say
there's
Montana.
tons of miles and miles on miles, and you need a tow. Man, it could be a really, really long day and long night if you're
Yep.
careful. And they're gonna beat the brakes off you. Am I
Hey,
correct?
can I ask a question?
Yes,
Can I
sir.
ask a question about that towing?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys carry cash with you guys? Do you carry cash, and if so, how much? If you're going coast to coast, do you guys carry cash with you? Do
I'll
you
let you
carry
guys
cash?
It's
go first.
rare. I don't always use a card. It's rare because I tell you why. I'm kind of off of cash because once it blow out your pocket, it's over. And I lost some stuff that way. Or you know how you at the gas pump, you get into here, and I pulled. You got the helmet down, so I pull a little something, and money fly out because you're not seeing right. So to me, it's easier to just use my phone or a card. I don't know what everybody else does. So
See,
cash out on my
I only use my credit card that's on my phone and I carry with me, but I do carry cash with me also.
Okay.
No, let's see. I carry cash. I use a credit card pretty much all the time. But inside my bike, somewhere down under my toolbox, I got a sandwich bag with some cashola in it.
What side? What side? What side? What
Hey,
side?
I'm just saying because
What
hey,
color
you
is
get
your
out there.
bike?
What
What
side? What
color is your
side?
bike?
Hey, I ain't messing with you, 6 I'm just saying because if you're out there and somebody got to throw the bike on the back of a trailer or something, you might need that cash to pay them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, actually, Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I carry a limited amount of cash. I do the
Right.
old plastic trash bag as well. I
Yep.
try not to get into it, and then when I carry it, I try to kind of do things in increments of 20, so I don't have a lot
Right.
of change and stuff left over.
Right.
But yeah, especially if I'm going to, and shout out to Closer Reb Reed, man. Me and him was making a trip to Georgia one time, and we pulled into a janky gas station. And he was like, Sarge, don't use your credit card up in here. He
That
spooked me
sound
so
like
bad
it.
one day, man, that at a Loves or whatever, I don't really worry about it so much. But sometimes and if I'm in the rural area of Nevada or maybe in some of the outskirts areas starting to get out there in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, I might, have a little cash that I'll just,
Right.
buy a $20 tank or whatever the case may be. But I don't carry a
Right.
lot of cash, just a couple dollars. So if y'all gonna rob Sarge, y'all gonna be mad at your damn self.
Yeah.
It
Don't
won't
think
be
I got no
much.
$2,000. Don't think I got
Yeah.
$2,000. I'm talking
But
about like $250.
that's good. That'll get me down the road. That'll get me
See,
down.
there you go.
Tell me what side it's on, man. You
Yeah,
didn't tell me what side
yeah.
it's on.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we got two more quick segments, and we're gonna push this thing on into home. So we've covered so far. For those who are just joining us today, thank you for joining us. It's the real cost of long distance motorcycle travel, preparation, execution, etc. So we've covered the motorcycle maintenance side. Hey man, it's cheaper sometimes if you do some of the basic maintenance yourself, and what maintenance that you can't do. Let's try to put it all together. So, for instance, if you're doing a tire change the bearings while you're doing it. Trying to do multiple services on the bike so it lessens the cost. We talked about gear and equipment. Hey, rain suits, heated suits, trying to be prepared for all 4 seasons, no matter what time of year that you're riding in. We talked about, hey, hotels, man, pick a good hotel. If you don't want to pick a good hotel, pick a good truck stop, a TA, a Loves, those type of things that has truckers type creature comforts or KOAs. We talked about also having a robust plan and being able to coordinate that plan with the group if you're not riding by yourself. Having a plan makes things run a little bit smoother because everybody's dedicated and invested in the trip itself. We talked about the ESP. We talked about wheel and tire package. We talked about a towing package. We talked about having medical insurance. If you ain't got no damn medical insurance, you shouldn't even be riding no damn where anyway.
I ain't mad at you.
Period. I don't even want you riding with me if you don't have medical
Hey,
insurance, man. That's a
that
need.
part right there.
We're gonna move on into some things that folks do not want to talk about. This is the ugly part. So I sandwiched this in the right before the end because we're gonna take it on in for a happy ending. It's 2025, y'all, and we're not gonna be talking about GoFundMe. We're not gonna be talking about that. This is the uncomfortable truth. This is the grown folk edition now. We're moving into. Man, look here. We know things happen in life. Life be lifing. And we have to understand if we have a family. We have to understand if we got people that count on us, that rely on us. We have to be responsible. You need to, if you don't, have a life insurance policy. At minimum, a burial insurance policy. And people who are riding with you, if you're riding in a group, they need to know the who, what, when, and where. If something happens to you, they need to know who to call, who to get in contact with to do what we need to do. I know this ain't sexy. I know people don't want to talk about it, but
Hey,
it goes
real
along
life.
with the life piece.
That's real life.
Gentlemen, what y'all think? I'm going to throw it around the room. Who wants to jump on that grenade?
Yeah, I just think. I mean, that's easy, man. All you need to do is, if you're riding with a group, give them the emergency contact number. That's all. And then the people that should know, whoever is at home or wherever, should know what to do if you, man, hell, for unintended. If you pass while you're riding, somebody need to know who to call. If you get in an accident and can't talk, somebody need to know who to call. So if you're riding with a group, and it's interesting you said that, 'cause I used to ride with a group that for whatever reason they were afraid to give everybody an emergency contact number. I said, here's mine. Y'all don't want to know, you don't want nobody else to know, that's on you. I can't run your life. But if I fuck up, here's my number to call for me. So it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
PJ, what you had on that?
I think those that of us that knows about preparations, because I heard you bring up life insurance and all of that, and not doing any GoFundMe. But I think for those of us that got to that point in life, some people don't have life insurance. Some people don't have the means, but it's not because, I think it's just because they don't know. So I'm just saying, I think it's a good topic, and it's something that we should educate others on. And, just having, some type of burial plan. Because, that's one thing we do got to do. Don't nobody want to talk about it, but one day we all got to leave here, and that's a real fact. So I just say we need to talk about it more and make sure that people are prepared. And, everybody ain't trying to pick up the tab because we out there having fun. But another thing I want to touch on too, when you said the GoFundMe deal, I'm not knocking nobody, but I'm just saying, if it takes somebody to fund you to take a ride, I'm kind of skeptical about that. I'll just leave it right there. I won't even get into that topic because we out here in the public. But if it takes somebody paying for you to ride your motorcycle, I don't know. I don't know. I think
Trey.
this is a sport that it costs, and you got to pay to play and all of that. So I'm gonna leave it right there because I don't want to get into it.
I'll let you highway Dre before I say what I'm gonna say, because I ain't gonna be politically correct. I'm gonna say it.
Well, everybody that rides and not even long distance, short distance. If you're out there riding or don't ride, you should have damn insurance. Come on, man. We talk about it all the time. I think that being out there on the road, I was horrible years ago about social media. I was freaking horrible. But now, man, I do social media more, so folk know where I'm at. In the morning, I get up and talk to people, and at night, sometimes I do it. Most of the time, I don't. But in the morning, I let people know where I am, and I do have a team that I talk to daily and let them know where I'm at. And there's a little ugly guy named Kodak that's got me on that 360 thing, sharing it so
Good deal.
people know where I'm at. And if I'm not moving, I have people checking on me during the day. So I'm with that. So folks know where I'm at. So yeah, man, people need to know where you at when you're on the road. I don't care who you are. If you have a spouse, that's good. If you don't have a spouse, tell a friend or a loved one. Because when you're out there, man, people need to see you. That social media stuff work. Life
Yeah, it
360
does.
work.
It
And
does.
more people see you and keep up with you and follow you than you think. So yeah, if anything happens, they're gonna call you and say, "Dude, why you ain't moved in the last 4 hours?" Especially if it's during the day and they know you out there tracking. And
Yeah.
I'm with PJ on that. Get some damn insurance, but not like PJ. If I'm with 610, he paying for my dinner. I don't care what nobody says.
Hey, I'm gonna wrap it up in a bow, man. And again, this is not to put people down or criticize people, but this whole platform that we do on the Iron Elite podcast is about each one teaching one, for us to be
Right.
the best motorcycle riders we can be. And people would say sometimes, Sarge, I'm not a great motorcycle rider. Yeah, but can you be your greatest motorcycle rider? Well, the way to get to that point is to start being responsible about what we're doing. And that's okay in our community. We should be preaching responsibility. Again, at whatever level that you are, we like PJ said, some of this stuff we gotta crawl, walk, run. We can't start off running a marathon. You might have to start off with running a mile and 3 miles and 10K, 15K, et cetera, till you get there. I'm just saying, in this, if you want to be able to experience motorcycle riding like these gentlemen on this panel and do it at its greatness, you got to be responsible in everything. Your life insurance, your health insurance, that stuff. You got to be responsible. It's the most loving thing that you can do, and I'll leave it like that. How was that, PJ? Was I
Yeah,
nice?
that was better than me.
Okay. So,
Sarge,
yes, sir.
before, I don't know if you're going to touch on it. I'd like to talk real quick about mileage and how to break it down when you're doing a long
We're gonna
distance
do
ride.
that.
All right.
We're going into the home, the last segment.
All right.
So hold on to it, because I know some of y'all sitting around and say, Sarge, what about the Lucci? You done talked about everything else. We're bringing it into home, and I'm going to let these gentlemen tell you how they break down their equation. Now, some of them ain't going to tell you all their money. They're going to tell you a little bit about their money. But they're going to give us some formulas how they put it together for gas, how they put it together for hotel, how they put it together for maintenance. And I'm going to let each and every gentleman give their own story and their rendition on how they do it. But so 610, since you brought it up, we're taking it home, brother. How do we put together the money side?
So I'm going to talk about the ride I'm planning right now, which is 48 and 10. And the route I'm taking, I'm just going to say is about 7,100 miles. And in 10 days, round numbers is 700 miles a day. And I divide it by 65. So that's about a little over 12 hours, 65 miles an hour. And that's always worked for me. So that's a little over 12 hours. So then I go to iExit. That's an app. And you can go to iExit wherever you go. That's a gas station app, right. But it has every exit in the country on the major interstates. And if you can go to that and you can figure out where you want to stop. So for 150 miles, which is where I stop, I ride 150 miles. And me personally, I straddle my bike at 150, and at the next 150, I get off the bike. And that's just how I ride. I'm not saying anybody else need to ride that way. So I get off the bike every 300 miles and walk around and do so. There's me right now in Alaska. But it's one of those things that, and then I don't worry about, and gas is more expensive in California than it is anywhere else. And I can go a tank. So it's about 6 gallons, about 150 miles is going to be about 5 gallons, give or take a little bit. And you just figure out what it is. And the hotel, I do $100 a day for a hotel. So for this ride, it's about $1,000. And whatever the gas is. I put it on my credit card. And then food. And I do a lot of grocery stuff. Pull into a grocery store and get something real quick in the little delicatessen place at the grocery store. I get some nuts and stuff and put them in my pocket and eat them while I'm riding, or some kind of a protein bar or something. And then I have a water that I drink, and or I do Gatorade or some kind of a hydration drink, because I think that's very, very, very important to have some kind of hydration drink. But that's about how I break it down. And it's to me, it's pretty straightforward. 65 miles divided by how many miles you're going in a day. And that's going to tell you how long you got to ride in a day. So I'm planning on riding over 12 hours a day, and I'll be good to go.
Okay, so okay. We're in a trust tree. We ain't telling nobody 610. What is that trip gonna cost us 610? Break it down to us.
It's gonna cost
C students.
It's gonna cost somewhere around $3,000.
$3,000. Okay.
And what trip is that, 610?
The 48 and 10.
48 and 10. $3,000.
That's about
16
right.
God, that's 610.
What?
$3,000?
You got $1,000 for hotels.
Okay.
You got at least that in gas. I mean, somebody figure out. So you got 750 divided by 150 is what, five stops, and you paying $30 a stop, round numbers. So 30 times 5 is 150. At times 10, that's a little over $1,000. Shit. If you can't do it in $3,000, keep your ass at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna do less than that.
You said less, Dre?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good.
Damn.
See,
you stayed at Motel 6. I stayed at Motel 6.
He got college, man. I got a GED, so my shit don't look like that.
Okay. I did like his formula though.
PJ,
I did like his formula.
You got PJ with a pencil. He got a notepad. I want to hear this.
Yeah, I did.
I got to write down my formula, and then I'm just give him a number. Give him some.
Yeah, but I did like his formula. But to me, what can mess up a trip really fast is those dang hotels, man. They can obliterate your trip if you ain't careful.
Because I fell into a hotel on the way back from when I left you 16, when you dropped me off in the airport,
Yeah.
that first night, I paid $200 for a hotel, man. $210. And I never pay money like that.
Where was that? In Houston?
Some valley up there right before you get on I-10.
Oh,
Yeah. So you
so you
never
did.
know.
He's probably. Are you talking about? You were in California?
Yeah.
You were in AV?
I don't know where the heck I was at.
You don't
I
know.
was tired.
Yeah.
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 But I get all that. See, Big Sarge, I get all that formula stuff. The way I do it, man, I do, man, check this out. I got, I don't work like that. I got February money. I got March money. I got April money. and and I got this shit. Check this out. I got GD, man. I don't do all that shit they do. So check this out. I have a set aside amount of money, right? And I joined a travel group. So a lot of times I'm paying, if a hotel room is like $180, I might get that room for $65. And they nice room. I might get it for $65. And so the way he said he do it, I ride from dawn to dusk, right? And I take my breaks when needed. I'm never in a rush. So that 700 miles, I can't tell you I'm riding 700 miles in a day because I might ride 900. You know what I mean? So the way I eat, I eat breakfast at the hotel. I rarely eat lunch. I might eat a beef jerky, right? And every time you see me leave here, I did a video one time, and everybody like, why you got that bag on your trunk? In that trunk, that bag back there, I got water, I got Gatorade, I got trail mix, I got beef jerky, I got all kinds of crap in there, right? And that's what I snack on during the day. And don't for no means, if I want to eat a meal, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. I ain't gonna go eat no damn McDonald's or whatever. If I want to eat a meal at a restaurant, I'm gonna sit down and eat it at night. But I try to have extra dollars. You know what I'm saying? So and I don't try to go over that money for that month. So whatever I save in that month, I roll it over to the next month. So I don't have a set amount. I don't try to go over it. That $3,000 he talking about doing, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna do the 48 and 10 for $2,400.
Man, I mean,
And
you
I ain't
guys are
sleeping
good,
on the
man.
side of the road.
You
And I
guys are
ain't gonna miss
good.
no meals.
Yeah.
I'm 230 pounds. I ain't skinny.
Yeah.
You understand? So I get what these guys are saying, but there's so much stuff out there that can come into play. You know, I don't do that nighttime. I ain't riding through the night because I done got old. I can't see worth a damn. So when it get good and dark, Andre in the bed.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's how I do it, man. I don't get all into the weeds, man, trying to save every little dollar because that's why I cut corners in November, December, January. I cut corners, man. So when I get out there, I'm trying to save a dollar, but I ain't getting that serious.
Hey, Dre ain't buying no Christmas presents.
No.
Oh
Nothing.
no,
Ain't
everybody do
nobody
no
getting
damn Christmas
nothing.
present.
Oh, you still buy Christmas
Hey,
presents?
no, they get happy birthday, happy Mother's Day, and Merry Christmas. Hey,
Ain't
hey,
nothing about it.
hey, they say, look, this Christmas, they say, what I get for Christmas, I go out there and show them that nice seat I put on that Road King. That's what I get.
Okay, so 40, so 16 for 48 and 10. You gonna do it for $3,000, right?
About $3,000. Yeah,
$3,000.
and listen, and this and when I say 700 miles, that's average. Um, it might be longer, it might be shorter. I mean, but I will finish it in 10 days.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
and Highway Dre,
$40
you gonna do it
night
with
meals, that's why he's spending $3,000.
yeah. Highway Dre, what you gonna do? You gonna do $2,400 or less
Yeah,
than
I'm gonna do it
2,400?
24.
Okay,
22, 24.
please post your ride on Iron Elite group page.
I'm gonna do
Dre,
it.
Dre, I want receipts too. Yeah.
I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no problem.
Yeah.
But see, I got so many rides in between. I gotta do the Grand Slam.
Right.
I gotta do the 48 and 8. Hell, I gotta do the Taco Run in April, right? And that's in Oklahoma. I I got this ride like the Iron Elite. I'm leaving on the first to go down here to South Carolina with your people down there. They all showing.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna ride to the
Yeah.
Four Corner, Alabama. Man, I
Right.
got so many rides to do, man.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah. Hey,
So
PJ. He said he gonna go month by month.
Month by
month by
month. I
month.
Hey
love it.
man,
I
that
love it.
Hey,
grand
man, I
that
can't
grand
I
spend
slam.
love
May
it.
money. I can't.
Hey,
I got May money. I got June money, July
yeah,
money, August money, September. So by the time
yeah.
I see 610 in Mexico,
He makes okay.
when I see him in Mexico, I'm gonna be hungry.
Hey
I'm gonna
man,
get there, but I ain't gonna have no money for
hey,
food.
hey, I need D Bell to put in the comments, man. How much is the Grand Slam going to cost you? But hey, we gonna move on, man. Let's go to let's
PJ.
go to PJ. It's on you, bro. What we got? What we talking
I
about?
just calculated my next ride because I got to run back up to Prudhoe Bay. I got to run that whole thing again. So that's 16,000 miles that run. So what I do is I take the 16,000 miles, and when I budget, I always mess with my numbers a little bit. So I say I get 180 miles per fuel tank. So I divide that 1,600 by a 180, which gives me 88 gas stops. I take that 88 and I just pretty much, gas is high over here, but it gets cheaper as you go. So I take that 88 and I just multiply it by 20 across the board, which give me $1,760 in fuel. The way I eat over what I'm going to eat is $50 a day. So I got the trip out there at 20 days. It take me 20 days to do that trip. So at 20 days, $50, that's $1,000. So then I go down to my hotels. I run that number up high because you never know where you're gonna get caught at. I told y'all I used to never mess with hotels, but now to ride and I do it, I get soft. So anyway, I take $200 a night for a hotel. Times that times 20. That's my biggest cost right there. That's 4,000. So I know for this trip before I leave out the house, I need $6,760. So just round that up to 7,000 to take the trip. That's just without that. That's not even having no unforeseen circumstances. Your $50 and your whatever for your ESP. But so a trip like that, the one I'm getting ready to take, I come out the gate just thinking around this $7,000 right here to get that done, and that's just one of the trips. So
Now,
that's kind of how I put my numbers together.
Highway Dre said taking $5,000 to get there from here to Prudhoe Bay.
No, Dre, you
Oh yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. It take less. It take less. It
Huh?
take less. I'm just riding with people, and I know it's gonna take time, and I had to do that all in there. But when I was doing 48 states and all that stuff, because I had to get back to work, I
Yeah.
was running all that stuff in like 6 days. I would start here, take off home, do 48, come back home, and sleeping at truck stops. Didn't spend a lot of
Right,
money because remember I was campaigning with my wife.
Yeah.
Baby, it ain't gonna take that, and it's gonna be okay, and
Yeah.
I ain't gonna spend that much money. So
right.
I mean, I'm gonna be looking more to have about $7,000 to go there. I don't want to go there with five. I I
no,
want to be ready.
yeah,
I'm with you, PJ. I don't know what Highway Dre be talking about, man.
no, you're right. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. This
I
is
mean,
just
5 grand.
super comfortable. It got soft, man. I got soft.
Yeah, that's me too, man. I mean, hey, I
hey,
never mind. Just leave it alone. Never mind. Never mind. You know what you know. Hey, so that trip that you guys took when I know you had the busted wheel,
Rim,
but that
yeah,
trip you
then
did
a
the
stator. It
ultimate.
just fell apart.
Hey, if you don't mind, briefly explain to everybody what was the ultimate yonder.
Okay, so the Ultimate Yonder was a trip that we started about this time last year. Every year I come up with something. I want to do something, at least 1,500 mile trip. So 15,000 mile trip. So anyway, we pondered around and always start with a whole bunch of people, and then it end up with a few people, and then it end up with not even the people that was the few people. you get a whole nother new group. So anyway, y'all know how that go. So anyway, we went through the year planning that trip. Then after a while, we got with Mr. Nate because we said, okay, let's just put a patch on it. So in order to get that patch, done, we have to go through our founder. So anyway, we did all that. But Ultimate Yonder is this. Ultimate Yonder is 4 corners of the United States. And then the going all through, you go up to Canada, then run all the way across Canada from the east of Canada to the west of Canada. Then you go up to Alaska, Prudhoe Bay, and then you come back down from Prudhoe Bay, and then you go to Anchorage, and then Chilkat, which is an eagle preserve in Yukon, I think it is. It's in the Yukon. Then you come back down through there, and then you hit Blaine, Washington, which would be your 3rd corner, because first corner was Florida. We started in the Keys, and then we went up to Maine. Then we came across, then went up to Prudhoe Bay, come back down. Then when you get back into the U.S., Blaine is your 3rd corner, and then them guys were going on to San Ysidro, and start there. So within that patch, though, with Rare Breed is the Ultimate Yonder patch. But in that patch, we also got another patch they got the other patch that is from Florida, Key West to Prudhoe Bay, whichever one they call that one's straight up that way. And then, the 4 corners is automatically in there, and coast to coast is out. So it encompasses a lot, but it was the ultimate. So when I kind of think of rides, that's kind of what I do. I take a conglomerate of a lot of rides that we've already put together. I merge them into one and make them one big ride. And then that's how I get my 15,000 miles. So gets me out the house for a couple of days.
Hey, for those that had a chance to do it, take a look at that podcast. We did that about 4 months ago, Above and Beyond Yonder series, where we interviewed PJ Bree, Zarb, Kodak, Cool Breeze, and there's one other I'm missing. And Frizz, Big Frizz, man. Check that video out, man. That was an awesome podcast. I think you guys, when we did the math, or we made the math, I think the longest distance we traveled on that was about 16 grand in mileage. So I don't know, PJ, how much money you need to have aside for the Ultimate Yonder? Some 16,000 miles.
That's what I just showed you right now.
That was 7 bills?
Yeah, that's the one. I got to redo it.
Okay, 7,000. Wow.
That's Fairbanks.
That's what's up.
I got to do the whole thing again.
Hey, man, he's doing it just
because July, because I need to be up in Chicago for that big event.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure I'll leave here, and then I can meet the brothers in Chicago, and then I can go ahead and finish that. But I'm going to knock it out.
Hey, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, man. You guys are some bad boys. Let's do this, man, real quick.
Brothers.
The pleasure.
Hey, man. I had the heavy hitters on tonight, man. They were kind of telling you how this thing works. How does it go? What's the real cost of long distance motorcycle riding? Hopefully today after this show, you guys just had a couple extra tools to be able to put away in your toolbox to set this thing up that you, properly prepared. Hopefully, if you already knew all this stuff, this just reinforces what you already know. If you didn't, hopefully this helped you out a little bit as far as your 2025 long distance motorcycle riding season, man. So, fellas, I appreciate you guys. Mad love, man. PJ, 610, Highway Dre, any last words you want to leave us with?
Peace.
Peace.
Man, I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, man, and we'll see you gentlemen on the slab. And in the meantime, in the between time, let's keep it motorcycling. Right on, fellas. Salute. Thank you.
Salute.
All right.
All right.
Hey man, there you have it. What's the real cost of long distance motorcycle traveling? Man, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today as much as I enjoyed having my guest on and talking about real life experiences riding long distance from everything from the four corners of the United States to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, to Mexico, to Truex and I-10 to the end and then 95 end to end and all kind of stuff, man. These guys are telling you exactly how you should be planning to execute those type of rides, man. So also let's talk about what's coming up in the next week and a half or 2 weeks from now. Is Iron Elite, February 7th and 8th here in Jacksonville, Florida, Adam Harley Davidson, man. The Iron Elite event, 7 and 8 of February, man, paying tribute to Black History Month event, where we will be presenting the trophies, man, to our 2025 Titan Award recipients. It's Piper Tamika Wade, man, and Sharif Asadiq, man. We'll be presenting those guys the 2025 Titan Awards, man. Come out, let's celebrate with those guys, man, and tell those guys how much we truly, truly appreciate them, man. So the Iron Elite page, man, if you hadn't heard about it, on the Facebook group, it's Iron Elite, home of the Ground Pounders Reunion, home of the Titan Award. Check us out. And on YouTube, man, Sarge Life in the Motorcycling. We're gonna keep giving you guys great information about motorcycling. That's what we do on this podcast channel, is we talk about life and motorcycling, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. Hopefully you'll share it with a friend. And man, in the meantime, in between time, man, y'all keep it motorcycling. You dig?
This is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, and your 2024 Titan. You are now listening to Sarge on the Iron Elite podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not listening to the Iron Elite podcast, what are you really doing? Because we are talking motorcycles over here.
Hey y'all, it's Snacks reminding you to tune in to the Iron Elite podcast. You dig?
Hey now, it's your girl Piper, the 2025 Iron Elite Female Titan, and you're now tuned in to Sarge on the Iron Elite Podcast Show, home of the Ground Pounders Reunion and the Coast to Coast Run, the social experiment, where motorcycling is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You dig? Now like, share, subscribe, and follow for all things motorcycling, and I'll see you on the sled.